Welcome back, everybody. We are here on day 3 of E3 2014 at the PlayStation booth, and we are joined by Mare, Sheppard, and Raigan Burns from Metanet Software.
Hi.
How's it going?
Going great. How are you? How's E3?
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been amazing so far.
Yeah, we really lucked out with this booth right over here. We're sharing it with Galaxy. People have been coming in all week. It's amazing.
Awesome. And people are playing your game N++,
right.
which is the sort of the definitive version, the final realization of N and N+ after it.
The last manifestation.
I'm a huge fan of N+, which I played the daylights out of way back when.
Thank you.
So I'm really excited to be speaking to you guys. This is actually a little intimidating to me because I really look up to you both as game designers. So tell me what you're doing with N++ to kind of turn it into the definitive version. What new things will we see?
Well, the most obvious new thing is the color. N and N+, and N++ have always been about minimalism and just kind of really clean graphics so that the focus is on the gameplay, because that's what the game is really about. It's how it feels to control this tiny ninja. But we've found that people aren't really that attracted to the kind of monochromatic, just gray of N and N+. So for N++, we just wanted to, make it seem more appealing so that people will come over and pick up the controller and see what it's like.
Yeah, and speaking of it being more appealing, you guys have some pretty complex graphical systems in play here. I mean, it looks like a pretty simple, minimalistic game, but under the hood, there's some really intense stuff going on. You're actually working with Sean McGrath of Dyad fame to make some of this stuff happen. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Yeah, he's like a really hardcore graphics programmer. And about 6 months before we actually started on N++, we just went over to his place for a weekend to kind of prototype the technology of like the vector rendering system. And it was great because we're okay programmers, but he's like amazing.
Yeah, he's a genius.
So we just kind of sketched out on paper, like, here's how we think it should work. Can you do something like this? And then he was like, tappity, tappity, tap. And then we had these gorgeous, really smooth arcs and lines and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, it kind of creates a really unbelievably smooth anti-aliasing effect, right?
Yeah. The whole point of that was to make it look as smooth as it plays, because it's 60 FPS now at 1080p, and it feels so good. I think that's my other favorite new thing about N++ is it's like the perfect rendition of this game, and so now the graphics look just as perfect.
It definitely feels really smooth.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, so N+ is really all about your momentum. It's about kind of getting up to speed, jumping off walls, and just carrying that momentum through to get you through a level without getting blown up or smashed or what have you. How are you guys how are you tuning that mechanic and that feeling of momentum based on your previous iterations? Is it largely the same, or do you find that you had to go back and kind of really tweak things and get things just perfect for this final version?
We tried to keep the feel as close as possible to the original and just make it smoother so it runs at a faster frame rate. The graphics make it a bit smoother. And we added a bit of input buffering to the jumping so that if you're especially with wall jumping, a lot of people would jump a bit late and then they're already falling, and even we made that mistake sometimes. So we just added about, 2 or 3 frames of buffering, and it really helped make it feel a lot more fun and playable without ruining the classic feel of it.
Yeah, because it's a really, really difficult and at times frustrating and kind of punishing game. But there were things about N and N+ that it was the way that we were handling the physics and the collision that weren't helping the game at all, and they were making players more frustrated than they had to be. So we just kind of smoothed out those things. So it's still super difficult, and it's still super rewarding when you beat everything, but it's just not, we've kind of smoothed out all those rough edges.
Cool. So we actually have some gameplay on the screen here right now. I want to talk about the level design because you guys are masters of level design. I mean, that's what N is all about. That's what this game, N lives and dies by its level design. And I understand you guys have quite a selection of levels in N++.
Yeah, there's going to be probably more than 1,000 by the time we finish, because we're still making them.
1,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they range from easy to very, very, very hard. That's our hardest rank.
Yeah, we have an 8-point scale for difficulty.
An 8-point scale.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
Hard is right in the middle.
okay, so what like this level we're looking at right now? Where would this rate on that 8 points?
That's like a medium hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not too hard.
Yeah, cool. So what's your philosophy on level design? How are you kind of balancing the progression from easy? I mean, that's going to be a really important part of the game, I would expect, is the kind of difficulty ramp up and making sure people don't feel alienated by the difficulty too early on.
Yeah, we try to mix it up and not repeat ourselves. And actually, we found easy levels are the hardest ones to make because with hard levels, I mean, if you want to make a level hard, you could just throw a bunch of stuff in there and it's hard, but it's much more of a challenge to make an engaging easy level that still has some enemies, still has something exciting in it without overwhelming people who are just learning. So it's tricky.
Cool. Do you guys have any personal favorite levels that you've put together so far? Any really cool, like, any levels that feature a really cool, like, unique mechanic or anything?
Oh yeah, there are a lot of really great new levels that we've been working on with the new entities. So the one that our friend backstage, Ryan, is playing right now has the rotating laser turret. But there's also the Evil Ninja, which is my personal favorite new entity. And a lot of the levels featuring the Evil Ninja, which is sort of a clone from your past. And sometimes there are multiple ones. Actually, Ryan was playing it earlier. You have to weave through your past selves and try to avoid them all. And it really makes the levels... it's just a new mechanic that we've never really experimented with before, but it works so well. It's so exciting.
Cool.
Do you have some faves?
That's good. I like the toggle binds too. It just that and the Evil Ninja, they're both sort of like you're creating problems for your future self that you then have to deal with.
So
Yeah.
that Evil Ninja is actually like one of your previous attempts?
Yeah, it does whatever you did 2 seconds in the past, and they kind of chain together. So you can have a big chain of them, and then you have to kind of weave through your previous movements.
My goodness. Okay.
It's really interesting because you have such control over your position. It sort of becomes a puzzle game where you have to think, okay, I'm going to have to get through here on the way back, so I'm going to jump really high to give myself more time to run under.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You can leave some gold so that you know you haven't been there yet, so that you won't run into your past self.
Oh yeah, just remembering, like we find that there's about a 7-second window where you remember what you did, but it takes so much concentration on executing in the present, you quickly forget your previous moves, and then you're sort of like improvising against this other thing. I don't know, it's really fun.
I love you guys right now, but I have a feeling once this comes out, I'm going to hate you guys.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, this is the best part about the Evil Ninja is it's your own fault. You
I
can't
guess I'll
blame
hate
us.
myself, right? So what else what are you guys doing with PS4? Any cool tricks with DualShock 4, the PS4 hardware that are letting you do cool things with N++?
Well, the level editor is going to use the touchpad for navigating stuff.
Oh, cool.
Because it's a lot faster and easier to go across a grid than by like pressing left or right 100 times. And I mean, we're really trying to focus on the level editor and the level sharing. So just the whole like social interacting, people interacting, like challenging each other to beat the levels that they made and stuff. We're really hoping is going to be a lot of fun. Because I mean, that's sort of our favorite part of making these games is like making levels and then playing the levels each other have made. And we really wanted to like bring people that, not just the playing the levels part, but the making it and challenging your friends to beat it.
Cool.
And also, I think the share functionality and that you can upload replays of everything is going to be great because N and N+ have always had high score replays, and N++ will as well. But now you can share replays of your deaths, which I think is also pretty exciting because that's
cool.
Oh wait,
they're hilarious.
this is one of my favorite levels.
Oh, so here's an Evil Ninja level.
It's got Evil Ninjas and Toggle
Toggle
Mines.
Mines.
Oh boy.
But I think Ryan's beaten this one before, so he might not have too much of a trouble.
Nice. So when can we play N++?
Hopefully by the end of the year. The game, as you can see, is mostly done, but all of the back-end database in the cloud stuff for the level sharing and the high score is a huge, like we really did not anticipate how much work. Even the UI for all the level sharing.
Oh, we just want it to work perfectly. So.
Yeah. We're not doing it again, so we want to make sure this is absolutely perfect and there's no reason for us to go back and fix anything.
Well, let me know if you ever need anybody to take a look at an early build and give you feedback.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Well, Mare, Raigan, thank you guys so much for joining us. That's N++.
PlayStation.